Furious over the deal is Israel, with some saying it stopped just short of making an explicit threat to attack Iran. Now, within the past hour, Prime Minister Netanyahu reaffirmed his tough stance during a news conference. Our Middle East correspondent Paula Sleer is in Tel Aviv with more reaction there. Paula, he didn't sort of hold back, did he? I mean, what he said was pretty tough.
No, he certainly did not hold back. What we heard from the Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu in a brief press conference is that Iran is taking cosmetic steps that it could reverse easily. Netanyahu also saying that sanctions that took years to put into place are now being undone. The Israeli Prime Minister warned that this first step could very well be the last step, and he asked the question, what incentive does Iran now have to dismantle its nuclear weapons program? The Israeli Prime Minister said, we cannot and we will not allow a country that calls for the destruction of Israel to have nuclear weapons capability. The Israeli Prime Minister also saying that when Israel's friends and allies are mistaken, he sees it as his obligation to speak out. Netanyahu saying that my responsibility first and foremost is to the one and only Jewish state that there is. Netanyahu also saying that Israel is not bound by this agreement, and that is a statement we've heard from the cross-spectrum of Israeli political leaders. Netanyahu in fact said that this was not an historic deal, but he called it rather a historic mistake. Now, Israeli ministers have been lining up to lambast this Iranian nuclear deal. The country's foreign minister, Lieberman, has said that all options are on the table and that Israel would act independently of the deal that is reached with Iran. Essentially, Jerusalem believes that the deal is marginally better than the first draft, but it is still a bad deal according to the Israelis, and they say it could get worse if the controls that are stipulated in the agreement are not rigorously adhered to. The deal is based, according to the rhetoric that we're hearing coming out of Tel Aviv, on self-delusion. We've heard that it's reminiscent of the bad deal that was reached and signed with North Korea. We've also heard from other ministers that it brings the world closer to a nuclear arms race and that there's no reason for the world to celebrate. Now, the country's economics minister, Yair Lapid, who is arguably also the second most powerful politician in Israel, has said that the focus now needs to be twofold. Number one, on securing a final better deal, better for both Israel and the international community, in his words, and also to try and re-establish Israel's intimacy in relations with the United States. What the signing of this deal has indicated, first and foremost, is that Israel is further isolated and even more marginalized by an international community that, in effect, did not listen to the Israeli concerns.
Okay, thank you, Paula. That's RT's Paula Sleer.